Hi, you guys. It's been a while since I've done an update, and I wasn't really prepared to do an update today. As you can tell, I have no makeup on my face. I was going to put lip gloss on at least, but I forgot. So, I just wanted to do an update because it's been so long since I've done one. The last thing I talked about was on Valentine's Day, so that's been a month and a half ago since I've been on here. I wanted to follow that up with the continuation of the story, but the continuation of the story is kind of having to go into when I met my husband. And I'm just struggling to be able to talk about that. Mainly because I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to think about him. I don't want to go over that story, though I think it's necessary and I should for this channel. So I don't know when I'll do it. I just can't seem to bring myself to do it because, like I said, I just don't want to talk about him. But I do firmly believe, and contrary to what a lot of people think, when you get out of a relationship that's a bad one, then you should just move on with your life, never think about it again, never talk about it again. But I don't think that's true. I think part of healing, which the fact that I don't want to talk about it maybe is that I haven't totally healed, is talking about it. And I also think that if somebody is an abuser and did terrible things in a marriage, I think abusers need to be called out, and their actions need to be called out. And so I think it's important to talk about it, to tell people about it. Hello, whoever's there. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you being here. After such a long absence, I always appreciate it when anyone jumps in. So I think it's important that people don't shut up about it. And I've had people, kind of tell me and say stuff like, oh, you just need to move on. You just seem to be stuck there or whatever. And no, it's not that I'm stuck there. When you come through a situation like, 25-year relationship with an abuser, like I said, I think it's important to talk about it. I think it's important to call out their actions. And it's for other people. It's partially for you, for your healing, but it's also for other people. Because other people need to know what it looks like to be in that type of a relationship. But that's not why I'm here today. I'll do that some other day. I have a friend who has gone through a lot of really tough things in the last few years, and the thing that she says a lot is, I'll think about that another day. And I know what that's like. So today I just wanted to tell you what's next for me. I moved here to Missouri in January, and the plan was to stay here. The plan was to get a place of my own here eventually. I was going to stay with my dad for a while, but it's kind of proving to be kind of stressful. Not living with my dad. I mean, I get along with him. I get along with my stepmother. We've had a pretty easy time together. But the stressful thing is, I have 2 dogs and a cat. My dad doesn't want all those animals in his house. And so right now I am kenneling an animal at a time. So found this kennel where I'm paying for one animal to be kenneled long term, and I'm switching the 2 dogs out every week. My dad is allowing me to have 1 dog in the house and the cat, but the second dog was just too much, so I'm paying money to have that animal kenneled long term. That's a little stressful. It's money that I really can't afford. I'm getting low on funds. I'm about ready to have to make a decision, pull more money out of retirement, because my house hasn't sold yet. It was under a contingency contract, contingent upon the buyers getting their house under contract, and they never did. 2 months, and they never got their house under contract. So now I'm back at square one. I do have an interested buyer that's going to be looking at the house on Saturday. It'll be their second time looking at it. Hopefully they'll like it. Hopefully they'll put an offer in, and hopefully it'll go under contract. Because no one else is looking at it. So if they don't put an offer in it, I'm going to have to be making some decisions here. Because I'm kind of hoping that my taxes will come back, but I'm a little scared because I think I made too much money last year, and I think I'm going to have to pay into taxes, which is scary because I don't have any money right now. So a lot of big decisions coming up. So I was telling you, I was going to stay here in Missouri, try to get my own place, I need my own place because of my animals. My dad says, get rid of your dogs. I'm like, no, I don't want to get rid of my dogs. It's plain and simple. They're my dogs. I've lost so much in the last few years. I'm not losing my dogs. I've got one of my dogs actually probably has lung cancer. Don't know for sure, but probably has lung cancer. So I may be down to one dog and one cat here in the next, I don't know, 6 months to a year. So the problem with staying here is there's just no places to rent here. This is a small community, and within a like 60-mile radius of this place, there are no rental homes. You could get an apartment, but you can't rent a home. And if there is a rental home available, it doesn't allow pets. So I'm like, what do I do? I'm not going to go into an apartment with 2 large dogs and a cat. Most apartments only allow 2 pet minimum or maximum, and they don't allow big dogs. There's like a weight maximum for all pets. So I'm like, I can't stay here. So what do? I'm not going to keep my dogs kenneled for a year or more. So I've just decided that I'm probably going to move to Tennessee, where my son is. Lots of available rentals there because it's a military town. And I'm finding that as we get closer to summer, more and more rentals are popping up. And things that I can afford, things that I would live in, things that have fenced-in yards, things that allow pets. So I'm going to have to move to be near my son. And much to my dad's unhappiness about that, it's just what I have to do. I have no option, really. I have no option that works for me. The option that works for my dad is I get rid of my dogs and I go into an apartment or something, but that doesn't work for me, and I'm not going to do that. So that's my next step. I'm heading to Tennessee sometime in the near future. Obviously not till my daughter finishes school, and not till my house sells. So gosh, I really need my house to sell. Really need it, because once again, I'm running out of money. I'm going to have to make a decision about either taking money out of retirement or hoping that I get some tax money back, which my accountant hasn't done my taxes yet because, he's got other people to do taxes for other than me. So thinking about making decisions, that brings to mind something that I watched this sermon recently. And his way of looking at this decision-making thing for a Christian really resonated with me because it's something I've always felt, but I never really could articulate. Because a lot of people, Christians, always agonize over decisions. God, what's the right step for me? What do you want? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to move here and take this job and do this? Or do you want me to go here and do this? Or do you want me to stay here and do this? Or what do you want from me, God? I don't know. And none of us can go to the Bible, really, and find out, does God want me to take that new job? Or does God want me to stay in my old job? Or, we can't find that out with the Bible, not really. Not directly anyway. And so the sermon, the preacher that was preaching about this sort of thing really, really hit home with this Christian decision-making thing. And he says, you know what? God doesn't care. And that's a weird thing to say, and it's a weird thing to hear. He says, because here's the deal. No matter which road you choose, God is at the end of it, and God is with you through it. Wow. And that's kind of how I've always felt, because me as a Calvinist believes that God is in control of my life. God knows the end of my life from the beginning, from before the foundation of the world. So he knows what's going to happen in my life. And so whatever I choose is his will. I mean, unless I'm choosing it, out of selfishness or out of, wrong reasons, that maybe it's out of his will, but nonetheless, it's still his will, because at the end of it, he's still there. And God, whatever Satan means for evil, he means for good. So even if you make the wrong choice, God's going to produce good out of it. Isn't that crazy? Christians are always agonizing over decision making. But do what, as long as you're making your decision based on something, you're not basing it off of selfishness, you're not basing it off of, wrong reasons, bad reasons, immoral reasons, God's going to meet you there. He's going to be there for you. He's going to take you through that decision. He's going to be at the end of your decision. So stop stressing over it. Because I stressed over moving here to Missouri. I stressed over the idea of moving to Tennessee. I stressed over selling my house versus keeping my house. But part of me in the back of my mind, I should have listened to it, was just kind of saying, just do whatever you need to do, and just do it with the right heart and the right attitude, and everything's going to be okay. And even if it's not okay, God will be there for you to help you pick up the pieces. So I wanted to share that. I probably should have shared that at the beginning because it's really important information. I know a lot of people don't make it all the way to the 11-minute mark on my videos. So I hope you do. I hope you did, because it's really important, especially if you're a Christian. I know those who aren't a Christian always kind of, their belief is, what is it? That fate will guide you, and whatever's meant to be will be. But from a Christian perspective, don't agonize over the decisions. Do what you think is right with a pure heart, and God will be there at the end of it and through it. I believe that. I believe that strongly. And it really brings a lot of peace into your life when you get to that point. So that's where I am. That's my update. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you do all the YouTube-y things like subscribe. I know I'm not the most interesting YouTube channel out there. I don't put a lot of effort into my YouTube channel right now because I'm in a state of transition and I just can't. Maybe one day in the future, if my health holds out and if I have the time, and then I'll put a little more effort into this channel. But for now, this is what I got. This is, the best I can do. So if you have questions about, I'm going to have another CAT scan at the end of this month. Probably the last one for a little while, because I am going to be moving and having to change insurance again. I am thinking about getting a government job once I move, because I feel like I need something, a more stable income. I mean, I don't have to make, once my house sells, I won't have to make a lot of money. But it'll be nice to have insurance paid for by someone other than me. So I feel like I'm going to go the route of getting a government job as opposed to doing real estate in Tennessee. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The downfall of that is I'll be working 9 to 5, and I won't have the time to just go off and do whatever I need to do for my daughter. And so I don't like that. But we'll see. Once again, it's a decision I have to make, and whatever the decision that I do make, I know God will be there for me. So if you have any questions about my health status, or anything about alternative cancer treatment or anything like that, or about narcissistic abuse even, put it in the comments below. I would love to help talk to you, and I hope you're doing well. There's a lot of bad weather going around my part of the country right now. There was a tornado that touched down at a place called Potosi, Missouri, and destroyed quite a bit of stuff. So prayers for those people, and prayers for those who are in the path of the storm that's continuing on. So I hope, if you are there, I pray for your safety, and I hope you're doing well. So take care, guys. God bless, and like, subscribe, share, and comment below. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.